Good science, by definition, allows for more than one opinion. Otherwise, you merely have the will of one man, which is the basis of cult.
If it's not in the frame, it doesn't exist.
I'm as mad as hell, and I'm not gonna take this anymore!
I'm funny how? I mean funny like I'm a clown and a loser?
Where you been?
Drunk. Wendy? Darling? Light of my life.
What is your one purpose in life?
To explode, of course.
I like death with sex. How about you, Casey? You like sex with death?
Yeah, so fuck up and die.
Okay. 100. Dude, should I do 100 push-ups for the 100th show? Here I go. Wait, watch. Here.
Oh my God, he's doing it. Everyone, he's doing it. He's doing exactly 100 push-ups.
I did 100 push-ups for Robert Eggers.
Yeah,
boy.
I'm going to do 100 shots.
100 shots right now.
Just right now, let's see if I can make it to the end of the hour.
Yeah, no, dude. You'd be like 13 minutes into this thing, and your liver will just fall out of your...
I'm actually curious. So how many bottles would I need to do 100 shots? I guess it's like, per ounce if you do an ounce shot. Need a few at least. I can math. This isn't a math podcast. This is a movie podcast, bud. In fact, you clicked on it. This is the Cult of Cinema Knowledge podcast, where we may not have the knowledge of cinema, but we're learning. We're always learning.
It should have just been called the Opinion of Cinema podcast because it's just our opinion.
But that doesn't spell cock.
It doesn't. It doesn't, bud.
That's the whole reason this exists.
Oh, it's. Oh, if you put the letters together, it spells.
I was actually saving that for you for the 100th episode to drop that bomb on you. Yeah,
it just got revealed.
Yeah, buddy.
On our 100th episode, dude, shoot it. Yeah, cheers, pal. I don't.
I'm drinking the pain away.
I'll cheers. Yeah, with my A&W.
Anyway.
Oh man.
So today for our 100th episode, we're still watching all the best movies of last year, 2022. We watched Top Gun Maverick, which go listen to that episode, was Jordan's favorite movie, maybe ever now. He's wearing a Top Gun Maverick shirt and doing 100 push-ups. He's super butch.
I was. Oh yeah, like in the movie Top Gun Maverick.
That's right. And then we watched Everything Everywhere All at Once last week, which was excellent. And then this week, we watched The Forgotten. I feel like this movie was totally swept under the rug.
Yeah.
The Northman. Robert Eggers' The Northman. It was so anticipated. And it came out, and people, like, critics liked it, but it didn't make enough money. And so people were like, man.
Oh, and even then, I think what this was just like, Robert Eggers, he must be like really liked in Hollywood, and he must like have people in the right place that were like, yeah, we'll like, you want to develop something, we will give you the financial backing, but you have to play by our rules. That's kind of
that's how it goes with big ass budgets, like
right, and especially when it's like all the strings are pulled. And I think it's really fun though that Alexander Skarsgård? How do you say his name? Skarsgård?
Yeah, Skarsgård.
Skarsgård. It was his brainchild. He actually came to Robert Eggers.
Well, that's what's cool. It's because it is like people from that heritage, grew up with like, I don't know, because he's like from Sweden or something, but yeah, right. Just like that, he has that like Slavic Viking heritage, and so it's cool to see that it kind of comes from him and stays with him, and like Bjork is in it, and I love Robert Eggers. This is like basically yeah, exactly right. It's because it's like it's Vikings, but it's in Iceland too. More mostly, and it's like Robert Eggers is just a fucking historian first, filmmaker second at this point.
Right. Well, he's both. There's an interview a couple months ago about like him just being like, he's just so tired. Like every movie he makes, it's like he does like just the research alone in it. Like he writes a book about it when he works on it. So
it makes sense, and it shows. It definitely shows.
Oh, totally. Like that's if anything you take away from this movie, you at least know it's technically like a feat.
Yeah, for sure.
You can admire it.
You can tell that they went through great lengths to kind of make sure it was done right, if not the most.
Right.
We'll talk into because I think it's like a little bit of the artistry was lost because of the studio method, which we'll talk about a little bit, especially compared to Edgar's previous films. But we'll get into it. But before we get too crazy, we'll do a synopsis. Jordan?
Is it me this time?
I think it's me.
Is it you? No, I literally, usually I'm pretty like solid and I know whose it is.
You know what? Because you did everything.
I did everything everywhere else at once. Right. Yeah, that's right.
Well, This is a much easier plot, so yay for me.
I know, right? Yeah, it's basically like it's the most basic. It's like one of the most original plots that exists.
It's like one of the oldest stories of all time.
Yeah, of time. Yeah.
So this movie, The Northman, is basic. It follows Amleth, who is basically where Hamlet was ripped from. So this is a very classic type of story about this young prince on this Viking island in the like 8th century or whatever, 10th century, and his father king Ethan Hawke comes home after a stay away, and they have their bonding moments, but it's all cut short when Ethan Hawke's brother, Amleth's uncle Fjolnir, kills the king and usurps the throne. And Amleth barely escapes with his life, and they all thought he was dead because he cut off the dude's nose and fled. Cut to 20 to 30 years later, and he's just kind of like an aimless Viking in this tribe of like these raider men. He raids a village, and he soon finds out that some of the slaves from this raided village are going to Fjolnir, his uncle. This is the first he's heard about him in so long. And he finds out that he's been disgraced and has moved to Iceland and no longer rules the kingdom he once ruled. He's just a simple fucking small, like, he's a landowner and a slave owner and everything. But
he must have some sort of
he's like a baron or something.
Higher standing. Is it a baron? Okay.
I don't know if that's actually, because that's more like, English fealty or whatever, but something like that. And so, Amleth, he disguises himself as a slave and meets up with Anna Taylor-Joy. I forget her name. It's like Olga, I think.
It is, yeah.
Meets up with her, and they both are like, hey, I hate these guys. You hate these guys? Cool. Let's hate them together, and let's cause chaos from within. And so, he gets there, and they slowly start making things harder for him. And all the while, Amleth is having all these visions and prophecies of his fate and Valhalla and destiny. And he goes and he gets the Nightblade. The sword, Drugur or whatever, that can only be unsheathed at night and slowly starts killing all these people. And it's a cycle of violence, and then that gets crazy, and then he impregnates Olga, and they flee together after killing a bunch of people. They barely make it out, and she's like, I'm pregnant. And he's like, oh, cool. But then he's like, oh, our child will never be safe until I fulfill my destiny. So he like ditches her, goes back to Iceland and hunts and kills his mom, kills his half-brother, and then he has an epic battle with his uncle in the gates of hell, in the base of an active volcano, and he is killed, and with glory, he is taken to Valhalla by the Valkyries at the end, which visually is very pleasing. Yeah. But, that's how it goes. It's it's a classic. Little bit, it's very Shakespearean, but by design, because this is based on true legend that Shakespeare then took and kind of tweaked for Hamlet, and this is definitely interesting coming back on that. It feels very Hamlet and very Macbeth, and like kind of just these classic type of archetypes. So it's a very simple movie on the surface. You know what I mean? Just a very classic revenge tale.
That's it, revenge, and that's like. I think that was like the capital that he used. It's like, okay, revenge is going to be the thing. And then it's woven into kind of everybody too. Other people get revenge in certain ways. And it's like Nicole Kidman's character, she totally like, she's a slave. And she was in.
Right. It's revealed that she was also, he has this set up for her thinking she's all this like damsel in distress, and then finds out that she's
and he thinks that
architect.
She's from like, he grew up thinking that like she was some fair. I can't remember what they said. Like she's from like Britain or whatever. She's from like a European island.
She's like a Christian heathen originally or something. Yeah.
Right. And so it's like, that's pretty cool. And then that's such a cool part is like I love the like superstition in this through everybody, and how and just how they are, because the Slavic people, they're the ones that are like more oppressed, and they're the slaves in this. And they would talk about like their like, their Christianity, and they're like blood drinkers, and they're creepy and weird. But no, our creepy and weird is totally cool. And I don't know, I like that the subtlety there, but it's also probably so well researched that
I mean, back in the day, really well. The Christians were super prosecuted, and they still just won't let it go. They still think they're the victim of everything. Anyway, really? Even though they control everything. But this movie, I see what you're saying about it being like vengeance being like the main thing, but I kind of disagree, because I think that vengeance is like the vehicle of which I think the actual biggest theme is like destiny, and like fate. It's more about like he becomes so wrapped up in his rage and vengeance that he's like, it's not even that he has to like, I have to have revenge. By the end of it, it's like, I have to fulfill my destiny, which is revenge. But
I guess so then I guess that's a good way to put it, I guess, where it is destiny. But the reason I say revenge is because that is what fuels his destiny, and that is what he convinces himself of his destiny is revenge.
Yeah,
because even when he's on the boat with Olga at the end, and she's like, you don't have to go, you can choose to either stay with me and survive, or go there and die. And he's like, I choose, and he pretends that his destiny is both, because he's like, I can have both.
Well, he uses it as, that's the whole thing. I think that whole turning point at the end of the movie is he for sure, but he uses destiny, because the whole time he's using vengeance to fuel the reasons for him completing his destiny. But that's at the end there, it's like the exact opposite. He's using destiny as an excuse to exact his vengeance. You know what I mean? Where it's like he's got to go. We're saying the same thing. No, it's such bullshit, because it's like for his character to be like flopping around like that. I don't know. It's such a cop out for him to just be like, no, it is my destiny. It's like, no, bro, you have a choice.
Yeah,
but
you could stay. Well, and I love dude, like I'm saying, superstition, and then just it's got such a mild mixture. Like that's what Robert Eggers does really well. Is like he's even though this is a little bit more bombastic and a little like larger themes, he still kind of keeps that superstition like it's like grounded in reality and through the characters. But then it's like, it's cool how Olga's kind of a witch, and when he kisses her, like he has that premonition of like two children in the family tree, and like through their heritage, and like they survive, and like he's able to like talk to her at the end when he dies. Spoiler alert.
I said it in the synopsis. He goes to Valhalla, man. That's the best ending for him. He dies in glory with a pierced heart.
In chrome. He dies in glory in chrome. But
I'm good. I'm good.
I know, dude. You're getting another little sting in the peen, dude. Sting in the peen.
I just got my dick and balls cut off this weekend, so I'm drinking the pain away. Anyway, so
man. 100, dude. 100. No, it's our 100th episode, and you're gonna have maybe 100 loads of sperm left, and then you're done.
Yeah, hopefully less. But yeah, let's see. That's why I actually did it, is for the 100th episode. It wasn't for family planning.
Yeah.
It was 100 episodes coming off. Did you dare me to cut my nuts off? Anyway.
Yeah, that's when we make it to 100 episodes, you need a vasectomy.
Yeah, I shouldn't have never shook on that. Anyway, backing it up. So tell me, this is your second time watching it, right?
Yeah, I would call it my first. The first time I watched this, I watched it in three.
That's right.
3 parts or 3 or 4 parts on an airplane on my phone. So
that barely counts. Yeah.
Yeah, barely. But I still. So, but the funny thing is, I still feel the same. I don't know. Watching it again now, I felt like I had a little more attention to it, and I could enjoy it and its richness. But I don't know, man. I don't know what it is. I gave this movie 4 stars, and I wholeheartedly stand behind it. And it's almost like I would love for Robert Eggers to continue doing movies that he's passionate about. But I like his small scale. I like what he does with like $12 million.
Yeah.
I like what he does with like a micro budget, essentially, compared to this like $90 million,
Yeah,
behemoth.
exactly.
It's like
I think he did like
I just
a lot of really good stuff with it, but I agree with you. You know what I mean? Like I do feel like he did a good job being grand and huge, but also it feels weirdly small and like weird. Like it's got all of its really weird, surreal, like prophetic dream moments. And it's like there's really not like there's a couple huge battles, but the most of it just takes place on this like farm in Iceland. You know what I mean? So it doesn't really feel like a nearly $100 million movie necessarily, but it does feel. I saw it in theaters when I originally came out on the big screen, and I felt like that was pretty epic.
And that I can only imagine. Like it does. Well, like what's so cool about Robert Eggers is he shot this old school style. He just used one camera, and that's it. And they didn't shoot coverage. They didn't shoot like they weren't playing it safe. It was so prepared, and it really shows. Like all the cinematography through it is like
really shows.
So
it's super
fluid.
Consistent. Yeah, it's super fucking consistent.
And it's like super strong. Like it is. There is a whole world when they like raid that village the first time. It's like there aren't that many people who go, but it feels like 20 times the amount of people that are raiding it are taking because they're just it's so brutal.
Really like it's like a dozen to 20 men at most, but it feels like a fucking army.
It feels like this army's
because
rolling
it's so
through.
chaotic and each man is worth 10 men. But
right.
Yeah, that was pretty like that. And then I just remember because when I first saw it, I was seen on the big screen too. That ending fight was super epic on the big screen too. Just the duel.
The duel's kind of like weak.
It's lost a little of its impact on the second viewing for me. The whole everything after he decides to go back, like it's cool. Like it's definitely cool. And I get why they made the character make that decision, and I get all that, but I'm just like, for some reason, it just
kind of feels like it derails it.
It does. I feel like it takes a turn to get where it feels like not only the character needs it to be there, but the movie also feels like it needs to take it there, and so it became very expected. You know?
Right. I think that's what's bothered me is like I was so expecting it to be the flip. I was like, oh fuck, he's not. I was so excited for him to choose like his character growth was like I'm not gonna choose.
Oh yeah, it would have been great to have that subversion where it's just like he drops it.
Right. Because that's the thing. We already got the idea that he was going to go to Valhalla and then he was like taken back to Earth. It's like, he was on the brink of death. Yeah. And then he thought
he got saved by the Valkyries, but he ended up getting saved by Olga, and she's his fucking angel, so to speak,
Right. And it's so cool because I like her, she's from like the birch clan or birch, she's from like a birch forest or something. And I think that's her power, like it's like because he's like, what does he say? Like you're a spell speaker or whatever.
White? Yeah, I know.
Dude, I know she's so white. Dude, I can tell you that the whitest human being in the world. It's wild, dude. I don't know what kind of milk bath she takes before
she must. Like I feel like she bathes in the blood of virgins or something.
Yeah,
she probably did actually sell her soul to the devil.
And like, well, no, that's what I love. My headcanon is that this character, this character Olga of the Birch Forest. She's the girl. She's never aged. She just is the girl from The Witch.
Nice.
She just lived long enough because it's like I don't know. I love her in Robert Eggers films.
Yeah, for sure. So
I don't know, dude.
What were your like expectations though? Because I know they were pretty big because you and I both really like Eggers and Ari Aster are like the two filmmakers that came out around the same time and have been knocking it out of the park so far.
Yeah. I'll see anything they do. I'm sad that I didn't see this in theaters. I don't even know why. I can't remember. I think just COVID was still kind of a weird thing. I don't know. No, even then, not really. But
not so. Not as bad, but still, yeah. Because it came out early in the year, and I'm sad because it did kind of. I feel like it got forgotten because I definitely was thinking about all the Oscar movies, and I'm like, this movie, sure. I've watched some of the movies that have been nominated for all the stuff, and I think Northman is much better than a lot of them. But I'm like, throw it a fucking cinematography bump or something, man, because the cinematography is great in it, and it's better than a lot of the movies that got nominated. But it's like, I don't know. I feel like a lot of people didn't really. This and Nope, I feel like, were the big ones that for some reason, like, did everyone watch those movies? They're huge new directors, highly anticipated, like, third film from each guy.
I know, isn't that so cool? Yeah.
And it's like, but then they came out and they reviewed good. Like both movies did good, but like obviously Northman came nowhere. It didn't make his money back, so it was a bomb.
No, it was a
Not
bomb,
even,
and that kind of bums me out too. Because I'm like, it's not even like it doesn't really bum me out. This is like one time where I'm like, well, that's cool with me because as long as because it's not like Robert Eggers won't ever make a movie again. It's just now I'm like, I hope he does like a more original screenplay because like quote unquote, this is clearly is like an original screenplay. But it's based off of Hamlet. It's based off.
Well, that's part of the joy of his. I think the biggest reason, because like we said earlier, I was hoping discussing this with you would help me figure out what it was about this movie that I didn't love. Because on the surface, I fucking love everything about it, but not. Right. Like I too gave it 4 stars, and I'm like, I think Lighthouse and The Witch are 5 stars.
100%, dude. The Witch and The Lighthouse are 2 movies that like. I can't get enough of. They feel like old cinema, like but old cinema, but it's what we've like kind of waited for. It's like film history wrapped into like somebody who knows what they're doing today with our technology.
Yeah,
and it's such a they're both love letters, and they're both such like atmospheric like triumphs that this movie, The Northman, has that same heart. It does feel it feels a little like Bravehearted. Like
yeah,
it just
feels
it's
like atmospheric in a different way for me because The Witch is him trying to like put his foot out there and make this really just like low key folk horror movie, which he obviously totally succeeded because that movie.
Oh, good.
That movie
it's the greatest folk horror movie ever made.
One of the movies that is like attributed to like our new golden age of horror that we're in that like was like that. It's like that and Babadook came out around the same time, and then like It Follows and stuff. But, and then The Lighthouse was just fucking bonkers. But it's like so original, like it's just crazy.
Yeah.
And so I feel like coming from The Lighthouse to this movie, like this movie is just so different. But I think the biggest thing, like you said, it is original, but it's such this classic story. It does feel like it's playing it safe kind of a lot of the time. And I think that's maybe what it is, because it's like The Lighthouse is anything but playing it safe. Like The Lighthouse
I think that's what it is.
2 of the biggest actors just being like, people went and saw that movie and were like, what the fuck did I just watch? But
I know, awesome. Anybody who's a Rob Pat
I've seen The Lighthouse like 4 or 5 times, and I'm still like, what the fuck?
I love it. Dude, it's so beautiful. It's like
favorite. I'm going to go watch
It's like the greatest it's the greatest silent film movie ever made. Like it's like so good.
That's great. That's great. But I don't know, this movie I couldn't quite articulate it, but on my second viewing I'm like, okay, this is more like it's big and it's epic, but it's like it's these big stories, and I feel like someone was saying something, and we've talked about this before, where it's like people take movies really literal. And this is a hard movie not to take literal because it's very, like, pretty straightforward the way it's laid out and stuff. It's very, like, in the moment, whereas, like, Lighthouse is very, like, metaphysical. But, like, this definitely feels like people will be like, how did he butcher, like, 3 guys and then stage them like this 9-legged stag? And I'm like, no, dude. This is the fucking campfire tale that these kids are telling. It's like, and then omelet in the night. Like he did this.
Right.
Then he met the seer in the cave. And
well, and it's cool because it's
a
like
legend. It's an Arthurian legend.
Yeah, and the things that like that's what. Yeah, it does feel like a storybook story because he like interacts with things, and then other characters have it. So it's like there's times where he like. When he first meets the seer, who's Bjork, and she does like the incantation and kind of like gives him like his whole, she's the inciting incident. She tells him like, you're going to have to go. This is your destiny. This is what you do, and then she's gone. But it's like if someone else was watching, they probably would have seen her too. And that's like how it works. Cause the one thing that gives away is when he goes to find the sword, and he has to fight that creature,
when he has his boss battle.
Yeah, he has his boss battle, and it's like, and then he's standing there with him, and then he like takes the sword and all that shit. And then when he gets caught and captured and beat up, and then that dude is trying to open it during the day, and he can't get it open. That's where you're like, oh, okay, so it is a legend. Like this is
it's
like,
not
this
him
is,
having
it's all
like
myth.
these. It's not like in his mind, which I feel like people freak out about. Like it's like this is the reality and then this is his visions. It's like, no, it's all one thing because
all mixed together.
The Nightblade is real. He does these crazy things. Like literally Odin, there's straight up Deus Machina in this. Like he's hung in the fucking storehouse. And the crow, he asks for Odin and the crows come and peck his rope loose.
But it's cool because like the crows are his father. Yeah. And like, so it's like he gets I like
Odin
that.
is the all father, you know what I mean? He's like the gods, and it's like he's doing this for his father plus, it's all wrapped up in his god figure and
Right. And I guess that that's a good way to look at it too, because it's also like that is what his actual father, like
he's
the War Raven.
He's mythological. He's like
embody.
Yeah, exactly. He set up his father too. His memory of his father has become almost religious and like mythic like on its own because 30 years have passed or however long, and his memories of his father of like this noble king, and he has like these personal surreal moments with Willem Dafoe doing the ritual, which is so sick.
I love that. So sick.
I want more Willem Dafoe. I'm glad they brought the severed head back, man.
I know. I love. Oh my god, dude! I need to make that a t-shirt or a sticker.
Please. But I want a keychain of just like his shrunken head.
But dude, so the War Raven. Oh fuck! I don't know. I lost my train of thought.
Sorry.
No, you're good. It was something. Something.
Too busy sucking off Willem Dafoe.
I know. Well, dude,
we were talking about fathers and Odin and like his connection with it, thinking his dad's super knightly.
And
so he's super righteous in his journey. But I don't know. This definitely second time around. I really feel like all those strengths really stood out to me more. But then I noticed more like some of the weak things. And I'll get to it on the Reddit comment, but one of the other Redditors kind of made me realize something else about this movie that I'm like, oh yeah, that it was kind of a disappointment. But I'll get to it when we get there. But I don't know, man. I don't know. As I say, I wanted it to succeed just because it's like I feel like even though I don't want Robert Eggers, because this is something Hollywood does. They take good indie directors and they suck them in, and he's gonna make a Marvel movie or something.
No, I don't want him to I don't want him to make another studio film, really.
But I don't want him to be like, hey, I need to make Nosferatu or whatever he's doing next, and I need $50 million or however much. And I don't want them to be like, ooh, I don't know, your last movie really sucked. It underperformed. Best I can do is 10. You know what I mean? And so he can't do projects that he wants to do. Like, I feel like, because unfortunately that's just how it works sometimes. There's very few studio execs that are like, you know what? Yeah, here you go anyway. Like, let's take that gamble again, because it's all about money for them,
Really, it is.
But I feel like he tried his best to tout the line. It's accessible.
He is doing Nosferatu. That makes me a little nervous. But yeah, I know that he...
if anyone's going to do it. But again, I want him to do something original.
I want him to do original, because I liked his first two originals. But I mean, that's what's funny though. We're calling this was like
this is original. This is original, yeah.
Right. I mean, all the characters he creates. But dude, I love that. I love like the He Witch, the dude that has William Dafoe's severed head.
Oh, that guy. And like when there's like one of the, this movie's so fucking metal. Like
that's what I was, dude. Like, literally said, I was like, when I was watching it. Yeah, when I was watching all that throat singing, the throat singing and like the rhythmic and like,
so good.
Yeah. And dude, I was like telling Victoria, I'm like, so like every metalhead in the world loves this movie, right? Like it's got that imagery all over it.
Don't get me wrong, I loved the score. It was very like authentic and super like blood pumping Viking. But I just wish that somebody would make a hardcore like Viking or like brutal fantasy movie, but set it to like the hardest doom metal ever.
I know, right?
Because this movie we talked about it a little bit in the last episode.
This is the closest thing you're gonna get.
I know. We talked about it a little bit in the last episode about like good title drops, and this movie has the best, most fucking metal title drop ever. Where it's like got all the sequences, like here's the Iceland, and then it's just like the runes come up and it's like the Nightblade feeds.
Yeah, like, I know, that's really all I can think of. Well, dude, and what's his God? He's got a sick name. What's his name called? He's like the War Wolf or something, or like the. Oh damn! Remember when he tells them like, he escapes, and this is right before he gets caught, and he's like, "Come get me! I'm something the war."
Yeah, I forget. Yeah, it's on the wolf because he comes
back
and he says,
"Or no, the wolf bear." I think it's like the wolf bear or whatever. And I just, dude, like Skarsgård got so huge in this. It's like that. It is funny. I'm like, this is definitely like, but it's weird. Oh man, I don't know. I'm all over the place. I think that's what sucks. This should have picked a lane because it feels like my uncle, like dude, like a dude bro would be like, this is so masculine and so dope. But then they're like such tender moments, and like the time with his mom when she like tricks him and like tells him that like, no, your father's like pathetic, and I hated being with him.
Super uncomfortable, but like
it's
really
really
captivating
her,
though.
That's like her best scene. That's such a like strong scene for her character, because like she like manipulates him to be like, well, if you kill him, I'll be your lover, and it's like she's playing like she's like. Yeah. It's like it's almost like she would go along with it, but that's her defense mechanism to be like.
That's how she survived this far. Yeah. You know, she's just trying.
Right, and I can't quite tell how malicious she is, or if like that is just like that's her defense mechanism, and it like. But also, I'm like, maybe she's just kind of got the taste for power, and whoever's the next highest up, whoever is the
she sees the writing on the wall and is like, hey, I'll be your queen.
He is more virile, and that anyways, it's like
he's
and she's
virile,
just like
all right.
let's kiss. Yeah, she's like, I'll kiss my boy. I don't give a shit.
He's virile for sure. I don't want to body shame in any way, but something I feel like Nicole Kidman was like had a weird look in this movie, and it was freaking me out. Like I felt like during that scene specifically, like her neck looked too skinny. And it was freaking me out.
I was like, her hair was so long that it really made.
I was really distracted by it though. It was like a bobblehead character or something.
Well, dude, I get what you're saying. Was she like? I like everyone was so plain, like clearly.
Well, that's what I like. You know what I mean? It's like they look like they're good looking people.
Well, dude, and you know what's wild? They built the Icelandic set in 2019, and production got shut down, obviously for some weird reason.
Some weird thing happened right after that. We don't really know.
Crazy thing happened in 2020 that I don't. God knows what happened, but it shut it down, and so it weathered it. Like totally, when they came back to shoot it, it looked so authentic.
Like they'd been living there for 20 years.
Yeah, right, exactly. I was like, that's really cool. It's like, yeah, that's sick, and I love like. They go and they have the sports scene, with like the kid, and it's cool. Like this would be a movie that you could really dig into all the history, because it's like Robert Eggers takes so much and mixes it. He makes it a big melding pot of like significant things that like some are factual, some are myth, and he like mixes it together. And he creates such cool characters. Like, dude, I love when he steals the heart, and he's like, is it? Or when he gets the animals. So like the character, Amleth, like Skarsgård's character is like howling,
and he's getting all the animals
turns
go crazy.
The dog. Yeah, the dog goes mad, and it's like that's what's so cool. Like the myth is mixed with like the reality of what's happening. It's like it's so cool. Oh, man. That's what I love about it.
It's a 1,000-year-old tale that is put to film in like a really good way, and so it's like for that I think it's a huge accomplishment. But it's funny you say about the whole masculine thing, because I thought that too. Because when this first came out and I first watched it, I was like, that was cool. This was like, I feel like everyone who hated The Green Knight by David Lowery came out like the previous year. I'm like, everyone who hated The Green Knight will love this movie because it's got the weirdness, but it also has all the action that The Green Knight did not have.
And the Green Knight is better.
Yeah, I like it more.
I love the Green Knight. I love the Green Knight a million times more because it is soft. It stays in its lane almost, and that's what sucks about this.
I heard that this was like there was a much longer cut, and it was way more surreal originally, and it got kind of cut down.
100%. That's what I heard too. So that's where it's like,
it probably
we need to get
better.
into the studio.
Yeah.
Like, of course, if Robert Eggers was making what he wanted, I feel like we would have gotten something more ambitious. But
yeah. I mean, it was. I feel like but I feel like you can feel that it's like it is ambitious, but you feel like it was more ambitious, and it was kind of like, whoa, now, boy, whoa, and like leashed back a bit, so it like it doesn't quite reach its full potential. You know what I mean? And I think that's a big part of it. But it's funny because I feel bad because my brother, he's a pretty jocular type, and he went and saw Everything Everywhere All at Once with me, and he really loved it. And he's like, "Oh yeah, Levi knows what he's talking about for once." And I said, "Yeah, watch The Northman. We're watching this week." And so he watched it, and he fucking hated it. He said it was the stupidest movie he ever saw, and I was like, "No, like it's still really good, man." Like,
does he like The Lion King? Because that's pretty much what we're watching.
I don't know. To be fair, he watched it like you. He probably watched it on his cell phone at the gym while he was on the treadmill, and like over the course of 3 days. Yeah, I think that's how he watched it. So I mean, I get it.
Okay, that's not. Yeah, at least like when I watch, I understand when I'm coming into like watching something on a cell phone. With like, I I understand what I'm getting into, and so I don't judge things quite as harshly.
The
if I
only
watch
movie I've ever watched on a cell phone, and I watched the second half of it it was for the film club, was The Frighteners. I watched the second half of The Frighteners on my cell phone, and I fucking hated it.
Yeah, I know. I watch a lot of things on. I paid for Plex on my phone.
I did too,
and
for that exact reason.
Right, and it plays really nice.
It did play nice. It was nice.
I do it because it's I can walk to work and catch a half hour or something. But anyhow,
do you watch it while you're walking?
Yeah,
that freaks me out, man.
I don't know.
Fucking robot person walking down the street watching the Northman. I'd be like walking by you, be like, hey, bro, what movie you watching? He's like, oh yeah, I'm just catching the Northman on my commute.
Yeah,
walking down the streets of Seattle. Get out of here.
I know. It's you can watch whatever you want. I remember watching Rio Bravo on my phone, and that totally tracks.
Really?
Yeah.
I'm so sorry. It's like torture on top of torture.
Yeah, really though. No, yeah, I don't typically watch it on my phone while I walk.
I know.
But anyway,
so I don't know. Anyway, this movie. Yeah, I don't know. because when I saw it, it was early in the year, and I was like, oh yeah, this is gonna be my favorite movie of the year probably. And then but it was a good year, and that was a good year for we kind of had a little bit of a drought the last few years because of some weird reason, and but this last year had a lot of really good movies, so it's The Northman might not even crack my top 5. It's probably in my top 10, but it's weird that a Robert Eggers movie that I did really enjoy it despite its flaws, didn't crack my top 5 of the year. Because I'm not that many good movies come out. Fuck. But still,
right.
Yeah, there's some bangers. Some bangers.
Yeah. Do you got I can give you the quick money minute.
Give me the money minute first, just because we've been talking a lot about budgets and studio involvement. Because his previous other movies, he's like an A24 darling. He helped that studio get big as it was with because The Witch was in more of their early days, and. So everyone keeps thinking this is an A24 movie, but this is Focus Features, right? And Sony?
Yeah.
So it's weird. I expected the A24 title to pop up, but that really shows at the beginning. I'm like, that set a weird funk that this is not this indie movie.
Dude, this is what happens to all these guys. So The Witch was a $4 million budget.
$4 million, goddamn.
$4 million, dude. Under 5. $5 million is $5 million is indie. That's an indie movie. Is $5 million. So this is an indie film, and it made $40 million. It made $41 million.
That's great.
And it's wild, dude, that The Witch would be like that. Where The Northman was freaking 90. I mean, it says 70 to 90, and that's typically when studios get involved. They sometimes they add the distribution in, sometimes they don't.
Yeah, sometimes marketing, sometimes not.
Yeah, and sometimes not all the. Sometimes it'll just be principal production, and then not just not visual effects. Anyways, so we're looking for somewhere around 70 million to 90 million, which is your standard high budget movie. This is your Hollywood backed, which is studio controlled film, and it grossed 69, basically 69, basically 70 million.
It's too bad. The reviews were pretty positive for it. Everyone was like, "This is a great movie. I wish more big budget movies were like this." Because absolutely, if big budget movies should take notice, but they won't because it didn't make its fucking money back.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Dude, and then look at Lighthouse is dope too, because that was 11 million. But it only grossed 18. So
that was because Lighthouse is not The Northman is fairly accessible. I could suggest The Northman to my fucking stepdad, But I would never tell my family to go, you should go check out The Lighthouse. That's for a specific breed of people.
Right.
The best breed, my breed.
Oh, baby.
My breed. Yeah. But yeah, that's I don't know, that makes sense. So I hope. It sounds like he's doing Nosferatu next, maybe. I don't know if it's official. It might be at this point. And I'm excited because Nosferatu rules, and I know he'll do it right. But I just wonder if he's going to, bring it back down a little bit, I think it's just a fucking vampire in a castle,
Yeah, I think he's going to have to. But it's it's weird. I wonder if he'll go the Lighthouse approach and make it like look kind of just like the original Nosferatu.
Yeah.
You know?
Well, that's the thing. It's like how crazy are you gonna get with it? And then it's like I heard that he's gonna cast Willem Dafoe again because Willem Dafoe loves working with him.
Right.
And Willem Dafoe is like one of my favorite actors. Like he's top 3, I think, for me. I fucking love Willem Dafoe.
Easy.
And the Lighthouse, like he's the best part about this movie, and he's him and Robert Pattinson are like top 5, both of them. And I can't even get over how much I love the Lighthouse. I fucking love that movie. But like he's already was in Nosferatu. He was in Shadow of a Vampire. He played Max Schreck, which or whatever, the guy who played Nosferatu.
Right.
Which
the original.
If you've seen that movie, it's
method actor. Yeah.
Nosferatu playing an actor playing Nosferatu.
It is. He's the original method actor.
Yeah, that movie's fun.
He was eating people.
That movie is in our opening title sequence.
If it's not
kind of fun. Shadow of a Vampire.
Oh, I know. That's what. See, for our 100th episode, we should break down all the movies that are in that or something.
I had to look at the somebody video. Like there's more on the video than there is on the audio, but.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah, that's right. Because you put some movies that we haven't even watched yet.
No, I think they're all movies we've watched. Because some of them were just shit I had on my computer. Like there's a clip from Frankenhooker in the opening title credits.
Yeah,
I actually fucking loved Frankenhooker, but it's not. It's not like my favorite movie of all time or anything.
I love Frankenhooker so much. Dude, we I don't know. The Northman was great. Let's get to some
it was
credit.
Good. So yeah, I only got.
I also want to just talk about
what?
Our movies. I don't know. Yeah. It's our 100th episode. We can just kind of talk. We can let people know who we are out there.
Yeah, my name's Jordan. Oh, anyway.
Fuck!
I already blew it. So we didn't get too many. So usually Bedwards says it's odd. And I don't know if that it's odd in a good way. It looks great and it has some very cool moments, but the tone seems way off. It's like no one, not even the director, is taking it seriously or something. Except Willem Dafoe, of course, nails it. Especially the 2 leads. I feel like they're always on the verge of smiling at the ridiculous BS they're saying. Like with almost every take, they burst out laughing as soon as the camera stops rolling. It's possible Alexander Skarsgård is simply not strong enough of an actor to make this lead role compelling, and Anna Taylor-Joy was burning precious resources to make her accent work. It doesn't. And it all seemed stagey and awkward to me. I didn't hate it, but I was pumped to see it and definitely didn't meet my expectations, unfortunately. Thanks for the comment.
Yes, thank you. But I get you.
This is the one I was saying. So, like, I commented back to him and was like, I think, because I didn't really realize it until they said that I was like, you know what? And then watching it this time, I was like, the acting does feel very stiff. And I think because it's like Robert Eggers has such an attention to detail when it comes to his language, especially like it's time accurate, usually.
Well, yeah, right.
I mean, they're all speaking English, well, they may not have entirely.
That was actually something that
I feel like that was they were focusing on it. And I feel like they didn't do the performances while they were trying to deliver the lines, and that came off feeling stilted. Because he's not the only one that said it felt stilted. Whereas like something like The Lighthouse is like barely I understand it 40% of it the first time I watched it because the dialect is so heavy that it's fucking like poetry. And Willem Dafoe even said it's like fucking it's like doing a Shakespeare play. But man, they are acting their fucking asses off in The Lighthouse, and in this movie, they're kind of just saying the words and then being grumpy. You know what I mean? So I do get it. I feel like that is kind of thing that it's like, I get that that's the characters. Like, I feel like it's fine. Like, I don't need Hamlet to be like, oh, mother, why hast thou forsaken, being all fucking crazy. It's fine, but it's not.
Right. He can be solemn and quiet and introspective when he delivers his lines, and it's very whisper. A lot of it's whisper, a lot of it's secretive. Mm-hmm. There is a lot.
The best acted moment is when Fjolnir, the uncle, he finds his oldest son dead and finds out he has no heart, and he's just like so angry and so just in grief, and he's screaming, and Nicole Kidman's like, he's like, you got to act stronger in front of your lessers and all this. You got to be the bigger man, and it's like that was like honestly the most emotional performance of the whole movie. So I get it. I totally get it. I think it like fits, but I do feel like it's not as exciting as it could be in the acting department. Like I like Alexander Skarsgård.
And that I wish that it was original dialect and there were subtitles. Like it's like you're gonna tell me that Robert Eggers wouldn't know how to do that. Like,
I guarantee you he would have wanted to do that originally, but the studio's like, absolutely not.
and that's something where okay, I know I have nothing.
He's like, okay, here's 15 mil.
I have nothing to back this fact up, but in my deepest soul and heart, I know for a fact he did the research, and he like read all the like old, because it is old English. It is true English that could exist as like. It's
language
unrecognizable.
Then, yeah.
It's unrecognizable to us now.
Yeah.
But he could have done that dialect like that and all subtitles. But a studio said, "The fuck? No one's gonna read, you dumb piece of shit. Make a sexy movie with blood, motherfucker." Like, and then he was
on
like,
Taylor-Joy's butt at least twice.
Wait. Can we compromise? Can I have some fun like witches in it? And they're like, well, I don't know. How many witches do you want in this? I want 3 witches. No, you can have 2 witches.
Yeah, 2 witches, Kate. 2 wwitches and a severed head. And I'm going to shoot those scenes in black and white. Get the fuck out of here. Like,
not really, though, because they basically are, yeah.
They are.
And so it's like, yeah.
Well, that was another thing I really, really liked. The first time I saw it, it took me a minute to, like, it caught me off guard. But the second time, like, how they do the nighttime scenes, how it's, like, black and white, but then, like, the flames still bring color to it. So it's obviously, like... Right. Has to be some combination of like night for day and then like visual effects or something. But I think that really added an extra element of like the surrealness where it's like all these night scenes and the prophecies. Like even when he's not being all weird with witches, it's like when he's skulking around at night, it's just black and white, but it's like so pretty because it's just like so illuminated by the night sky and everything.
The grass is still green, but it's blue from the sky. Yeah, it's like blue from the night. Yeah,
well, the grass is only really green when there's a source of light that's on the ground. Like when it's by like flames or something, because that's the thing. It's like flames light everything at night, and everything that the flame light touches is color. But when he's around no flames at all, it's just black and white. Right. Like I had to stop it and like zoom in this time because I was like, is it? Because like some scenes there is some color, quite a bit of color as well as the black and white, but I feel like it's integrated really well, and I like to see that more in movies because it had such a distinct dream-like vibe to the night scenes, which really added because they're obviously very important to the legends. Anyway, cool. Anyway, yeah, I agree with that. Thanks for commenting. I got one more comment, so let's see. One more. So Clones Are People 2 says, my first experience of Eggers' film, and I really enjoyed this. At times I felt like I was watching a Jodorowsky-directed episode of Game of Thrones with some David Lynch wooden dialogue thrown on top. It's a weird mixture of surrealism in a very raw and untamed setting. The longer I watched this, the less I wanted Amleth to succeed in his quest for vengeance. His quest is completely pointless and self-serving. He has no redeeming features on his revenge quest except for unwavering loyalty to a father that he barely knew, who does not seem to be a good person. His quest, while at first it seems to be honorable, leads to him killing and terrorizing many innocent people without any remorse. He is much worse of a person than the man that he is out to get, and he deserves death more than anyone else. Editing to add this 24 hours later. As a Viking that wants to go to Valhalla, I guess that deserving death and getting a death in battle is the ultimate goal, and thus Amleth really has succeeded. I can see why a lot of people did not like this. It's odd, it has a weird tone, the pacing is strange, and the characters are not very likable, but I'm glad to have watched it, and I look forward to The Witch and The Lighthouse.
Well, that's wild. I wonder what my perspective would be, because I've seen Robert Eggers in real time. I watched The Witch.
Yeah. And then as it was coming out, like, oh, The Witch is cool. Who's this guy?
I saw The Witch in theaters. I saw Lighthouse in theaters, but I didn't see this in theaters. But anyways, it's like,
I saw him in theaters, so I'm pretty cool. Okay.
Oh yeah, you're cool, bro.
And it's funny because my first impression, out of all 3 of them, was the lowest for The Witch.
And that's wild. Dude.
I saw The Witch in theaters.
I ate it up, dude. I had to have been in the right mood. I the entire time. It just gave me the Lars von Trier vibes that I crave in my goal. I love that. And
we
so
could always use more Lars von Trier. I mean, personally,
dude.
we are fans of Lars von Trier here. So.
Yeah, right. You can give me anything he's got. And so I just it just gave me that I just love the slow creep, and then just out of left field, just living deliciously, dude.
Well, that one had because the movie when I first saw The Witch, I walked out of it being like, I liked that, but I'm not entirely sure about the whole. Like, I loved the ending, and then I was like, I don't know. And then I was like, it sat with me for like a week, and I was like, you know what? That movie really was effective.
So fucking good.
And then I watched it again.
That ending is brutal,
so good. Okay. And then I watched it again when it came out on like Blu-ray or whatever, and I was like, oh yeah, this movie rules. And then I've since watched it like 5 times, but.
Yeah, same. I remember watching it with Victoria's mom on a whim. She was like, "What's this movie?" Witch, and she turns it on, and then I'm like, I don't know if you're gonna like this. And then I'm watching it, and I'm like, my God, just the second the music starts, and it's just like nothing but like a really dark, like, all it is like a skyline with some twigs, and I'm just like, I'm in it. I'm so ready.
I know, I get that.
I love it.
At a Halloween party at Kylie Landon's house, and they throw ragers. They have like a ton of people there, and you know I have a terrible you haven't been around me in person very much in a while, but you know I have a terrible habit of hijacking the music and/or TV like at all times.
Sure, yeah.
But like nobody was doing anything, so I was just putting on horror movies in the background of the party, and I did after like we watched like Return of the Living Dead or something, and then I was just seeing what was streaming, and The Lighthouse was streaming, and I just put it on, and I ended up sitting there like ignoring the whole party for like an hour, and I was like, and then my wife's like, we gotta go, and I'm like, but The Lighthouse isn't over yet, and they're like, you realize we're at a party, right? Like we skipped you in beer pong. Like, I'm like, I know, but like, you know, do you see? That's too good. But thanks for commenting, fellas, and I'm glad. You know, even if you didn't love it, I like to hear those opinions too, because it's it's not perfect. And even movies that are because even my brother who hated it, I was just like, lay it on me. I was surprised that because I never would have guessed if you would have asked me a month ago. The Lighthouse and Everything Everywhere All at Once. Like, which one does Gat like more?
Yeah, I would have bet opposite.
All the money on the Northman.
It just makes sense that he would like the Northman, and the fact that he doesn't, I'm kind of now like my whole perspective is wrong, dude. I'm like, what?
Who are you?
Yeah, dude. Maybe he just was like, maybe he's connecting emotionally inside. He's like, he's like Northman didn't really connect with me as much as
I know.
everything.
Northman didn't make me cry. Like movies aren't the same anymore after I watched it.
I know, dude. Yeah, we broke him.
To be fair, he's not as initiated as like I've seen some pretty weird, eye-opening movies, and so going in and seeing Everything Everywhere All at Once to like the layman was probably kind of shocking.
Right, and they branched.
He's like
bridged such a gap.
Flavors don't taste as rich as they once did.
Yeah, right.
I can't.
He's looking at googly eyes at the dollar store, just like, oh my God.
He went and saw the newest Marvel movie, and he's just like, it's not the same.
Yeah,
it's
like
just not
hollow.
It's not the same. I can't enjoy this anymore. I've seen real film.
Do you know what I expected? So this is we're towards the end here, and we usually say like if you liked this movie, watch this. Well, what I think I came into this movie, The Northman, with expectations of it out weirding Valhalla Rising. I thought Valhalla Rising to me was the quintessential like that was the best Viking movie ever made.
But it wasn't epic. Like it wasn't like big and epic. It was what Robert Eggers would have made with a $10 million budget.
Right. And that's the thing. I like that. I like that more though. But I mean that's where it's not fair because that's totally just personal. Yeah. Totally personal opinion. I know. I need to see it again too.
Well, Nicholas Winding Refn, or however you say his name, it's like he got popular after that for like Drive and such. And it's like,
I really like his vision too.
I like his too. I want him. He made like a show recently and apparently it's pretty good, but it's weird. But it's like I like Only God Forgives, which nobody liked but me apparently.
Oh, I like Only God Forgives. I think I was on the Drive high because it's like Only God Forgives came out like right after.
I didn't like Drive that much because I think that was I think Drive was ruined by the hype for me. Because it was everyone, all our film friends are just like, oh my God. And then I watched it and I'm like, yeah, it's all right. But I honestly want to watch it again because I feel like I'd like it more now.
Well, and then I got into how are you saying it? Is White Rifing?
Nicholas Winding Refn or something? I know I'm butchering it, but you know what I'm saying.
Refn?
Oh, yeah, Neon Demon was like his last one that I wanted to see and I didn't see.
Yeah, I never saw that one either. And then, but Bronson was great. Did you ever see Bronson?
Oh, did he do Bronson?
Yeah, so I saw Valhalla Rising.
Yeah, Bronson.
Valhalla Rising was the first movie I saw by him.
Same.
And then I went back and watched Bronson.
Same.
And then when
I fell in love with Tom Hardy because of Bronson.
Yeah, same. And then
Yeah. So anyway,
Drive. I love Only God Forgives. God,
so
I need to...
Northman, go check it out. It is worth your time. Like, especially if literally you like anything to do with Vikings, it's a must see. Like, if you have an interest of Vikings at all, it's a must see. And if you like this, I think if you like this, watch Valhalla Rising. I think is a great pick, and then Green Knight, which I kind of mentioned earlier.
Yeah,
is
those are two
more of the medieval, like a medieval kind of, but it's like the legend and the surrealness of the Green Knight.
Dude,
God, Green Knight rules.
Go
listen to that episode.
I loved Green Knight.
My
God,
we did a podcast I want to go watch on the Green Knight, right?
I know.
Yeah. I forget because
I was like, what? That was like 50 podcasts ago. No, it's probably.
I know we're on 100 podcasts.
100 pods, dude. It's been fun. Here's to 100 more, right?
Yeah. Well, it went quick once we started doing, because if those of you don't know, we have 100 episodes, but we covered way more than 100 movies. Our older episodes, some of them are maybe not as good, but
I know. Yeah, like start at like 40. And
there's some good ones, but
it was.
Back then we did 2 movies per episode, so for like the first 50. So we'll be to 200 before you fucking know it, bud. And how many?
Oh, yeah. We only do like what? Or I guess no. What do? We do 4. Oh my God, what is that? Wait, no, don't make me do math. But what's 4 times? What's 4 times 12?
Don't ask me that on the air. I'm cutting this out. I don't want to make it seem like a buffoon.
I'm being stupid. We do one a week, and there's 52. No, there's 52 weeks in a year, and we do 1 a week.
There you go.
We do 30 in October.
Yeah, we do 30
every day. So we do like almost 80 movies.
God, and I could barely keep up this year. I think I'm just old, and I got kids and stuff now. It's just like,
I know
it was. I loved every minute of it, but man, it was hard to get through October last year.
I'm excited to do it again.
I'm always excited.
This year will be better because I want to be more prepared, more planned. We'll do something epic and fun.
We're not.
I'm not going out of town. So
that's a big one, for sure. So, we'll be more. We always say we're going to get more prepared, and one day we will.
Yeah, I feel like there's more. If you go and you check out our Patreon, we have stuff on there. It's like things are implemented. It's chugging along. It's moving. I love it. You guys support us. Everybody out there who supports us on Patreon, you're so beautiful. I kiss your ring.
You guys are nice. You get some stickers, and we're doing more bonus episodes coming soon, hopefully, more, and getting all the rambles, which I'm putting up the last episode of the ramble. I'll put that up this week. So you can check that out that we did with our good buddy Davey.
I'm so excited. Yeah, we got our bonus episodes, the rambles, and then we'll do some more bonus episodes. I got some ideas. I might even, after off air, I'm going to pitch some stuff to you. But what's crazy? Bud. I just looked at our back catalog. We almost did it perfect. So get this. The first movie that we did solo for just 1 week was the 49th episode. And it was Goodfellas.
Wow. That was Goodfellas was the first one.
Yeah, Goodfellas was the 49th episode that we did, and it was the first solo movie. But the funny thing is, the 47th was Last Night in Soho and The Green Knight. So we did The Green Knight as a double feature, which I totally forgot. I thought we did it as a single movie, but
I was gonna say,
yeah. So that was it right there, and then so from 49 on, from 50 to now, we did.
Well, it's also fun. This is the 100th episode, but this is like 3 years. This would be the 3rd year of the podcast.
Yeah, dude.
On the 100th, is in February is when we started.
Yeah.
Pretty cray. And then the fucking Reddit has been like 5 or 6 years almost.
That's so cool.
That's how this started. It just started us being like, let's have a film club, and I'll make a subreddit for it so we can watch movies together with our friends. And talk about, which is great because it's like, man, I gotta talk about movies, and I get other people to watch the movies I'm watching, and a lot of, like, obviously with these newer movies, more people have watched them anyway. They're like in the front of people's minds, but it's like I like going back and watching even shit like Pluto Nash, which is, I don't know if that's the worst movie we've ever covered, but it's
it is. It's 100%. It's the lowest rated movie.
I kind of like Pluto Nash in a.
Me too. I have a fond memory of like how bad it is and the potential that it had, because there's so much cool like stuff involved that it could have been something more. It was almost like a more satirical Blade Runner, or like a more lighthearted, like funky Blade Runner, and
funky.
It totally just bombed. It was so bad.
Did I almost just went. Travis didn't call, right?
No, not that I looked because I was like, I don't think he did. He didn't text me either. So
I was like, yeah, usually you bring it up, and so I'll just assume no.
Yeah. No, I would have told you if I got it.
But so check out the Northman. Thanks for everyone listening. We are still We started this month kind of early for some reason because our schedule got kind of wonked up from the new year. But because this next movie that we were watching for the best of 2022, we are watching the Indian film RRR or Triple R.
Oh, that one?
Yeah.
Oh, wow. Okay, cool.
Yeah. It's the prequel to that Vin Diesel movie that came out, Triple X.
Triple X, the Rough Riders.
Yeah, and I've not seen it, but I've heard it's a lot of fun. So we'll find out. I'll be introduced to the crazy Indian cinema.
We have said on this podcast we will happily watch anything, and I stand by that. I straight up will watch. I will happily watch literally anything made. And so I think the thing with RRRs, I'm just like, everything I've seen on it, I'm just kind of like, okay, this is going to be like the good, the bad, and the weird or something. It's just going to be fun and epic.
Yeah.
I don't know. Anyways, I'm excited to see it because I've heard like nothing but good things about it. So let's see it. Decision to Leave almost won though. Come on, guys.
I know, dude. I want to.
No, but
that's
I love you, everyone in podcast land. I love you.
Here's the difference though. If Decision to Leave won, I honestly could say I probably never would watch RRR. Like,
that's true.
I'm interested.
That's what I love about this film.
Yeah, I'm interested, but I'm interested in other movies more. But I know I am definitely 100% going to watch Decision to Leave once it's easier for me to watch it.
Right.
RRR, on the other hand, if it didn't win, I probably wouldn't have watched it. But now I'm going to watch it, and we'll see if it deserves if it's as good as Top Gun Maverick.
I know, right? I'm just like, I'm excited to watch something that's completely out of my like wheelhouse.
Oh yeah, me too. I know nothing about like Indian cinema like at all, so we'll find out.
No, I don't even know if this like falls into Bollywood. I'm not even.
I thought it did, but someone on the Reddit already commented that it doesn't technically. So we're gonna hopefully educate ourselves slightly and then be able to talk about it a little bit next week. I'm not gonna give you a fucking history of Bollywood podcast, but I'll at least be able to know why this movie's not Bollywood or not or whatever. So
exactly,
should be good. But since we started early, I think we might even have one more week after this. So we might have 5 2022 movies. But I'll talk to you about that after this.
Technically, it's the first would be the Tuesday that we record.
Yeah, but I always count it to the Wednesday because that's the release day. Because that's how we do. I don't know. We'll see. We'll talk.
You're right. Yeah,
we'll talk about it after this. We'll talk about it. Well, we'll take it off the air and we'll talk about it there. Okay.
All right, bud.
So
thank you guys for being with us here for so long. Right. You're beautiful, and we'll see you next week.
Thanks for tuning in. Thanks for commenting on the Reddit and watching the movies along with us. I've actually been getting way more engagement from you guys, and I fucking love it. Just to be able to chat about movies online, the same movies we're watching, helps give me more insight into these movies and give me more shit to talk about for this. And I think it's great. Those of you who are watching to the video, Jordan's going to do 100 more push-ups right now, so stay tuned for that.
Here I come. Yeah, I got to put my sweatband on real quick. All right, here I go. I'm going to do the push-ups.
100th episode, I'm going to take 100 more shots. So I'll probably just be Jordan in my corpse next week.
Yeah, I'm gonna be so ripped, dude. I'm gonna be the wolf bear or whatever. I'm Emma.
It's just gonna be your 2 pecs doing the podcast. You won't need me.
Yeah, dude. I don't even need. I can just do the pecs right off my.
All right, everybody. Have a wonderful evening afternoon. Goodbye.
Thank you. Bye.
Goodbye.